And welcome to our third class of 5-element Tai Chi, medicine for the emotions and organs. And today we're going to start with a reading, like we always do. I like Taoist reading a lot. It's just helpful, lovely thoughts about one's life and how to live. And then we're going to do a little bit of warm-up exercises. Oh no, but first I'm going to talk about the 5 elements, because I haven't really talked about the elements themselves. And then we are going to go into some spontaneous movement, becoming each of the elements. I think it's kind of fun to be fire or be water. So we kind of get the sensation of what the elements are. And then we will go into our form, starting with the 5-element Tai Chi, spending more time with that. And at the end, we'll be doing our white crane spreads her wings. So that's the agenda for today. So we'll be seated for a little bit. So please make yourselves comfortable. Let's take a nice deep breath as we bring ourselves into the present moment. And you can relax your mind. Just follow along. I love that these classes are recorded, so you don't have to write things down if you're so inclined. You can always go back to it. Sense the earth beneath you, that yin energy, the dark, rich, nourishing energy of the soil helps to ground us. Sense the sky energy above you. Think about the vastness, the boundless energy of our universe. And then everything in between. So right above your head, right down to your feet, that's our bodies and the biosphere, all of life that's around us. And take a deep breath, breathing it all in. Today's reading is called The Multiverse, and it's from The Tao of Joy Every Day by Derek Lin. I will send a picture of the cover of the book and the reading. And this one was actually not today's reading, which was kind of interesting about reincarnation, but this one was a few days ago, and it's called The Multiverse, and I liked it, so this is why I chose it for today. As we travel through life, we are presented with many choices. Each choice is a fork in the road. Sometimes we choose the path to take based on the best available information. Sometimes, lacking any information, we choose randomly. The path chosen opens up additional possibilities so that before long we are called upon to make yet another choice. It is the way of fate and destiny to offer the countless choices. Therefore, the totality of all the possible paths in life is the Tao of existence. In physics, this is called the multiverse, an infinity of possible universes, out of which the one we experience is the one that unfolds in accordance to the choices that we make. In order to master destiny, we must first master our choices. It is possible for us to choose wisely by using the teachings accumulated from generations of experience. Consistently good choices mark out an optimal path through the universe. The optimal path leads to the best of all possible universes. This too is the Tao. This is how you can influence and shape reality through your thoughts. The key is to direct your thinking through clear intent and make your choices consistent with the Tao. And remember, the Tao means the virtuous way of living. When enough of these choices have been made, you find yourself in a universe that is more to your liking. You are, in a literal sense, a navigator in an ocean of infinity. Take a moment to reflect on this and chart your course. So every choice that you have made has led you to right this present moment, where you live, how you're living, how you're feeling. And life is full of good choices and bad choices. But I did like the what the writer said about um, sometimes there's information accumulated from generations of experience. I like that a lot. And so there are books, the Tao Te Ching being one of them. For others, it might be the Bible, um, how to live. And take a moment. Think of the choices you made that led you here to this moment. You chose to be here taking this class for maybe curiosity, maybe to incorporate it into your own teaching. I know a lot of you are teachers, or maybe just because it's something fun to do on a Thursday afternoon, expanding our minds, thinking about things in a different way. I suggest we all breathe in a breath of gratitude. Even for the choices that maybe at the time were not the best choices. But without making those choices, I wouldn't have ended up here, and we all wouldn't have ended up here. And something to think about as we move forward, considering our choices more carefully. All right, let's lengthen our spines, bring our awareness back into the body, and let's take a full deep breath, noticing the quality of the breath. And then smile to your mind. Today, we're going to sit a little bit and talk about the 5 elements. And the 5 element theory, like we talked about the yin yang theory, the first class, and we've been working with the opposing forces, which are extremes of the one thing, light and dark, part of the same thing. And the 5 elements are a way to make sense of everything in life. And the 5 elements are going to start with the summertime. So that's associated with fire. And as we know, as we've been talking about, the fire element is associated with the heart. It's also associated, the heart is yin. I'm going to talk more about this next week because we have yin organs and yang organs. The yin organ is the heart, the yang organ is the small intestine. And there's a couple more organs, but we'll go into that next week. And the fire is associated with the summertime. It's associated with joy, expressiveness, happiness, laughter. It's also associated with chaos, shock. So if you've fallen, that could upset your whole being. So the shock of falling or having a shock in your life. And it's also associated with patience. I sent you that handout. So there's a lot associated with each of the elements. But I like to keep it a little simple. Love, passion, creativity, all of that good stuff. So that's fire. And then we move on to the next element, which is metal element. And one of my first teachers had a Tibetan teacher as well. And so she liked to include crystal energy and the metal particulates in the atmosphere. Most often you just hear about metal. And so the metal element, what are the characteristics of metal? I mean, the characters, let me back up just a second. The fire is hot. The movement is up and out, flames. Sometimes it's a wildfire fire. Sometimes it's a little gentle fire. As we move into the metal element, the metal is, what is it? It's refined dirt. It's the condensed soil. And it's the structure of the planet. We have metal in the earth. We have metal in our bodies. And the metal element makes us shiny and bright. You can have metal as molten, so it can be liquid. Metal can be hard. It can be, if you polish it too much, if you work it too much, it can break. So metal, I like to think of it almost as part of a structure of our bodies. It's also boundaries. And, letting, who do we let in? How much do we let in? It's also associated with routines. So when we have structure in our lives, we have routines that we like. It makes us more of a balanced person. And the emotions associated with the lungs. So we've got the metal element, the lungs. The lungs are the yin. The large intestine is the yang. Also the skin and the nose, because they all are associated with breath. And the emotions associated are sadness, grief, guilt, shame, wishing things were different, not accepting what is, um, not being inspired by life. So that's a lot. So we want to, if we're out of balance, it doesn't feel good. And that's part of why I love this Tai Chi we're practicing, because it's helpful to bring things back into balance. If I have too much grief, I'm definitely going to do exercises for the lungs, for the metal element, to make me feel shinier, make me feel more hopeful, make me accept what is and continue on. And the metal is also associated with, the fall. So that time of year. However, in between summer and fall in Chinese medicine, and also in California, maybe where you live also, we used to have something called Indian summer or late summer. And that is associated with the earth element. And so the earth element is all around us. It helps to ground us. I like to think of a mountain. The mountains aren't moving very fast, and they're just there, and they're solid. The earth element is associated with our spleen and stomach. And the earth doesn't move. We can't really alter it. We can build with it and we can use it. It's our home. The emotions, oh yeah, I already said, the emotions associated with it are peace of mind and clarity, empathy, compassion, feeling grounded. And all the complementary emotions are, confusion, anxiety, stress, and worry. So we like to balance that out with the exercises that bring us clarity. When we're clear, we're not as confused. And when we're clear about things, it gives us a peace of mind, a sense of well-being. And then the next element is the water element. And the water element is associated with wintertime. It's associated with our kidneys, which makes sense. The kidneys are the yin, and the yang is the bladder. So all those organs are associated with intake of fluids, processing of fluids, and elimination of fluids. In Chinese medicine, our life force is believed to live in our kidneys. So we want to pay a lot of attention to our kidneys. And like water, water, wow, it can be solid, it can be liquid, it can be steam. And you think of all the different waters in the world. There's lakes. When the lake is still, the water is calm and clear. When there's wind or a storm, the water is murky or turbulent. And there's also streams that move. And when the streams move, they might come up against boulders. Well, they change their course. So water teaches us to change our course. If we come up against a boulder, well, we're not just going to push, push, push. We, like water, we just go with the flow. We find the path of least resistance. And it's a big concept in Chinese medicine, going with the flow, finding the path of least resistance. And then you think about the vast water in the oceans, the tides coming and going. So we're going to be playing with that. And the emotions associated with water are will, like the will to continue on, the will to live. Depression is associated with the kidneys. So sometimes we're depressed and we don't really feel like continuing. So we want to bring in that will to continue, to be brave. Fear and fearlessness associated with the kidneys. I love those. Doubt, self-doubt associated with the kidneys. And well, some other things too. Let me think. Fear is the big one. Oh, I know. Lack of trust. So wisdom is associated with the kidneys. And the more we know, the less we fear. So we all know that expression. So that's why we continue to educate ourselves. And the last of the elements is the wood element. And for me, I like to think of the wood element as a tree. And the wood element is flexible. It's associated with the yin organ of the liver. The yang organ is just right next to it, the gallbladder. The emotion, it's considered springtime. It's enthusiasm for life. It's visions, like creating your paths and having goals and visions. It's also associated with kind of our young energy, our childlike energy, our curiosity, where we're not tainted or we're not jaded and cynical. It's like anything is possible at that in that with the wood energy. And the emotions associated are uh, playfulness, is if that's an emotion, forgiveness, flexibility. Like a tree, we want to be able to bend if something happens, or if even if something we have a plan in our life and it has to stop, somebody dies, or we're flexible to navigate, much like water. And let's see, what else do I want to say about the wood energy? Kindness, compassion, again, some of the emotions overlap. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the elements. We're going to become the elements in a minute, kind of see how they feel, how they move. And then we're going to play with them in the five element Tai Chi. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat box. I can look at them later, or we can talk about it after class. So we're going to start off with a breath practice. And this is one of my favorite breath practices. It's very playful. And so breath is really associated a lot with the lungs, so the metal energy. And one of the animals associated with the lungs in Chinese medicine is the tiger. And you think about the tiger, a lot of focus. The tiger can see the anomaly, it has to see the anomaly. Where's that animal that I'm going to eat for lunch? But they're cats, they're kind of lazy, they sleep a lot, and they can be playful and they can be ferocious. So we're going to practice an exercise called Sleepy Tiger, and it stretches our lungs, and I hope you like it. I think it's a really nice way to practice breath work. So we're going to rub our paws together, we're going to clap, and imagine you have a catnip ball. And let's tighten our hands a little bit so our claws are out. And with Sleepy Tiger, we're going to practice yawning. So every breath we take is going to be a yawn, and we're going to have to fake it until we make it. And we will get yawns eventually. But join me when you can, and we're going to inhale and open your mouth wide. With the exhale, make a sound. And again. One more time. And stretch your lungs. And now one paw goes up, one paw goes down, and we yawn and we stretch. And this feels good. Little side bend. Bring your paws back towards the lungs. And then let's inhale and yawn. And if you feel a yawn coming, don't stifle it. You don't have to be on the rhythm with me. Let's do one more. Stretch up, stretch down, yawn, make the sound. And then let's bring it back to the lungs and let's do two more. I got one. Yay. I hope you've got one. And let's try it again. And we're going to rest. But if your body wants to yawn, please don't stifle it. The point of this exercise is to yawn. Place one paw on your leg and make a fist with your other paw. Place it into your cheek and close your eyes. And imagine your tail twitching. You might get a yawn. Oh, little cat dreams. One more deep breath. And let's begin to wake up. Our cat naps aren't very deep. And we're going to rub our paws together again. We're going to clap again. Let's engage our claws. And we're going to do this whole thing again on the other side. So we want to try to get the yawn. So, oh, oh, oh. Taking in as much air as you can, filling the lungs. Oh. And then one paw up, one paw down. Let's open the ribs, see if you can get a yawn. Oh, a little bit with yin and yang here, heaven and earth. Inhale up. Oh, one more time each side. Oh, there's something so satisfying about a nice yawn, right? Oh, and then we'll stretch our lungs 2 times, last 2 yawns. Oh, 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 good. Place the other paw on your leg. Make a fist with the paw that you didn't fist before. Close your eyes. Take a little cat nap. Little inner smile to your inner kitty. This is a nice exercise to do if you're having trouble falling asleep. It induces us to be sleepy. Oh, and let's take one more breath and we wake up and you might want to stretch or yawn. That's up to you. Oh, oh, excuse me. Oh, well, I hope you were able to get a couple good yawns. One of the reasons I love this exercise, did your eyes get teary or are they moist? Mine are. Yawns are a natural way to hydrate our eyes. So if you experience dry eye, practice sleepy tiger. Make yourself yawn and it'll induce tears to come into our eyes. And notice your length and quality of your breath. Smile to your inner fearless tiger. Or maybe it's a sleepy, lazy tiger. And then we're going to make our way to standing. And if you prefer to be seated, that's just fine. But I'm going to stand up. Let me see here. Okay. And let's bring our awareness to our alignment. So the toes are pointing forward, the knees are slightly bent, tail is going straight down. And feel free to wiggle and wobble into your spine. Maybe you can find a little more length. Let's come into tree pose or Wu Ji, also known as Tai Chi meditation. Allow your roots to go deep. Feel yourself being lifted up towards heaven. And then let's bring the hands down towards the belly. And we've all heard about a fire in our belly. We're going to start to play with the elements. So first we have fire. So fire is hot, can be smoldering, it can be low, we can bring it up. And this is going to be spontaneous movement. So just do what feels right for you. But imagine you're a flame and you go up, and maybe you come down, and then you go up again. And then you're reaching the tips of the hands up towards the sky. And then maybe you could die down, get hot. And then maybe another piece of wood is on the fire, and you let your arms be flames that lick the sky. Breathe into your shoulders. Let your arms move. Let the elbows be loose. Fire. Breathe in the fire element, the spark of creation. Fire is about purification, sterilization. Maybe you bring your hips into it. You can go down and come up. Maybe you're a crazy wildfire. There's wildfires all over California and Arizona and Colorado and Nevada. But then let's let our fire die down a little bit. The movement of fire is up and out. All the elements have a movement. So fire up and out makes sense. And then let's move from summertime, the fire, to late summer. And this is the earth element. To have your arms away from your body and kind of like you're a big triangle, but here we are, a mountain. Relax your belly, feel yourself become heavy and grounded. And like the mountain, you are grounded. Things don't happen very fast. You sense the top of your mountain, the sides of the mountain. And for the earth element, the movement is more in the center. So everything starts from our essence, our monad, the center of our being. That might be your heart, it might be your solar plexus. But everything, and the movement is from the center and downwards. So helps to ground us, helps us to feel safe, helps us to feel stable in life. And there's not a lot of movement with when we play with the earth element, unless of course it's volcano with the lava. So I like to think of it as a standing meditation. Nothing's going to knock me over. Take a deep breath and let yourself feel heavy and connected to the earth. And then let's bring our fists in to about our solar plexus. So after the late summer, we move into the fall, and the fall is the metal element. It's also crystals. Think of what's precious in the earth. We humans love our crystals and our diamonds and rubies and well, yeah, I've got my favorite crystals that I like a lot. But we love gold and platinum and silver. They're valuable. And so for now, let's squeeze. So let's squeeze the fist, squeeze your feet as if you're making a fist with your feet. And then let's tighten our bodies. So we're going to squeeze everything in, pull up and in from the perineum. Engage your cacal muscle and squeeze your anus shut. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. And what is metal? Well, it's refined earth. What's crystals? What's a diamond? It's coal that's been compressed. And then let's soften. And we're going to squeeze again. So the movement of metal is inward and it's contracting. So we're refining, we're squeezing out tension and stress. And then relax. Take a deep breath in. And let's contract. If we could squeeze out worry, squeeze out sadness, squeeze out lack of inspiration. And then what are we left with? We're left with the gold. We're left with what's precious. Let's do two more and squeeze. So engage every muscle of your body. This is an excellent thing for your lymphatic system, squeezing, pumping your lymph system. We don't have a pump like our heart, so we can't pump our lymph like we can. Our heart pumps the blood. And I want to do two more. So we squeeze, we get the lymph to flow, we get the nutrients delivered to wherever they need to go, and the lymph takes, it's like the garbage man also, takes out what we don't need. So we think of the metal as refined earth, pulling it all in, contracting. and then relax. Give it a little shake. Pumping our lymph system. It's one of the healthiest things we can do for our immune system. Keeps everything flowing. When things aren't flowing, they pool. You know, when you get sick, you get your lymph glands swollen, or we feel just ugh. So that also massaging the lymph nodes is another good thing should you get sick. To Wuji. So hands in front of the solar plexus. After the fall, we have winter time. And the five elements follows the seasons. Early Taoists observed nature, they observed the patterns, the seasons. And that's where all of this comes from. Thousands and thousands of years ago. So let's imagine we're frozen, but soften inside. The dead of winter, water is frozen, it's still. And you can smile to your mind if you want. You can close your eyes. And then as we move into a little bit more springtime, the water begins to melt. And maybe we're holding a beautiful lake in our hands. And it's still, so that helps to still our mind. If ever your mind is too busy, I suggest a meditation where you close your eyes and think of a still lake and breathe it in. And then out of the lake, you usually have some streams. So we start to move a little bit. And again, we're moving into spontaneous movement. There's no right or wrong here. Take a deep breath, let your body guide you. And imagine, you're going down, twisting. There might be rocks or trees in the way, and your whole body is loose like water. And the creeks meet up and they might become a stream. So the water moves more briskly. And the hands can go wherever they want. Let your whole body feel like water. We are 73% fluid. So we can just move like there's no bones, like there's just fluids going with the flow. And then maybe every now and then we'll come to a place where it's dammed up and we can become still again. And we notice the difference of stillness and movement. But the nature of water and the movement of water is down. It wants to find the ocean, it wants to find the soil and go deep. And then maybe the river becomes torrential with the rapids. Maybe there's waterfalls. What does that feel like? What does that look like? I don't know. Just let yourself imagine. Nice, loose body. And then as we get to our destination, especially living on the coast, the rivers flow into the water. And we're going to change the movement a little bit as we're being drawn to the water. The hands come behind, and then we're being pulled towards the ocean. But the ocean has waves, and so we inhale and we bathe ourselves with the salt water of the ocean. We release any old energies, let it go out to the horizon. And then we bathe ourselves with fresh water. Let's do two more slowly with the breath. Exhale, ocean breathing. Love this. Each time is an opportunity for renewal and an opportunity to let go, pulling energies out of the body, releasing them into the ocean where it's recycled, and inhaling back. And then you might find a wave. So we exhale, release, and then fingertips heavy as there's a wave that comes up, and then we let that wave wash into us. We inhale, arms behind. Exhale, release, let go. Inhale, find a wave, and release. And a little change, this last one. You feel yourself rising up, but by condensation and evaporation, we flow up into the clouds and we become vapors. And then maybe we travel over land and we will do a gentle rain, a purification, cleansing. Guess who loves the water element? And then the last element is the tree. Or the wood element. So let's become flexible, like a bamboo flowing in the breeze. I think it's important to understand the nature of all the elements, how they move. Trees teach us to be flexible. Maybe you have weeping willows where you live. You can be a weeping willow. Find that nice backstretch. There's all sorts of different trees. I love watching trees in the wind, and I practice them. I mimic them. Here we have the eucalyptus. Well, eucalyptus are long-limbed and crazy, but I love going up to the Eastern Sierras where the aspens, and they shake. And so let's all do a little shake, like the quaking aspens. So I invite you to think about the trees where you live and see how they move. So you can see the wood element is very flexible. All right, and let's rub our kidneys just for fun, our backs. And let's come into ringing the temple bell. So bending the knees. Oh, this monsoonal sky here today is really pretty. And let's wake up our organs. So let's start on the pubis. So we wake up our bladder, and maybe think about your kidneys in the back, the yin and the yang. Wake them up. Let's get energy flowing, get blood flowing. And then let's come up to our stomach area, tap. So wake up our large and small intestines. Coming up to the sides, waking up the liver and gallbladder on the right side, spleen and stomach on the left. And then let's bring our hands to the heart and the lungs. Give yourself a nice twist. Let's do 3 more each side. And good. And let yourself drift for a moment. Notice your breath. You can find your heart if you like. Soften and smile to yourself. And we're going to begin to do 5 element Tai Chi. The feet come together. And right away, we connect to yin and yang. So we're inviting balance and harmony. We're inviting transformation. We're inviting the 2 extremes to find that beautiful middle ground. And we're doing this with our emotions. This starts by walking on clouds. Sink into your yellow leg, and we lift and float and sink. Other side. And now let your fingertips feel connected to the earth as we come up. And we bring the hands into the lungs. We start with the metal element, the lungs. And we inhale and we imagine making more space in our lungs. Squeeze. Remember, this is the metal element, crystals. We can know that we are of value, know that we shine and we're brilliant. Remind ourselves how brilliant we are. So we do that 3 times. And then the palms face downwards and we connect to the earth. And we go deep into the earth and we bring up the metal and we bathe our bodies, reminding us, setting boundaries of how much we like structure. And we let go of grief and sadness, wishing things were different. Let's gather courage and strength and dignity to continue on. And then we release any resistance. Again, inhale and exhale. You can say, I accept what is with courage and strength and dignity, and letting go of wishing things were different, of grief, being uninspired. Last one. And then we're going to embrace tiger. We played with tiger already today. We embrace what might be scary to us, placing hands over the lungs, and we breathe in and gratitude for our lungs. We see them filled with white light, clear, no congestion. Thank you, lungs. And then we release, sink down. Let's pull silk out of the cocoon. One time, all the way up to the top of your head. Energy rises, the yin rises, and then the yang flows down as we soften. One arm goes behind. Going into the water element, we sink as if we're an Indian scout surveying, or a tiger looking for our meal. We gather up any lack of will, any stagnation, and we let it go. It flows out like water. And we look for wisdom. We look for trust. Any fear and doubt, depression flows out of our hands. And the more we know, the less we fear. So we look, survey. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Let's helicopter our arms. Drape the other hand over the kidney. What is scaring you? What are you worried about? Let's gather it up and let it flow like water. And breathe in trust and knowing everything's going to be okay. I'm letting go of fear that flows out of my hands. I'm becoming fearless, courageous. Let's do one more. Everything we worry about, let it go. And we're going to place both hands on our kidneys, if you can. Otherwise, just imagine. Breathing in life force, breathing in pure water for our kidneys. Breathe in the color blue. Flushing our bodies with the power of water. Now, I like to go down and compost any fear that might be left. So I leave my hands on my body and I just guide any old negative fear, doubt, depression out. And then we pull silk out of the cocoon. Bring the fists into the waist. Moving into the wood element for the liver. And there's a punch, release. And bring it back in. Something precious. Let go of anger and grudges. Breathing in forgiveness. Exhale, let go of rigidity. And bring in flexibility of body, heart, mind. Like the young sapling, that youthful energy. We come up against something. We don't like to be told no as humans. You know, it frustrates us, it irritates us. No, you can't do that. Oh, there is nothing worse than somebody telling me no. I don't like that. But it helps us to be flexible. Okay, so that's no. What am I going to do? And maybe the answer is going to come into my hand. Let's do one more on each side. A lot of creativity in being flexible. And now we pump it. We make a noise, energy out. The wood and liver is associated with vision. So sometimes I really don't know what my vision is. but I'm putting it out there. I need to find out what my vision is. What I need help here. Let's let's slow it down. And then let's bring it back. And maybe the vision is coming to me as a beautiful feather or a dream, but I'm open to it. I bring in my youthful energy, my curiosity, my anything is possible, all associated with the liver, with the wood energy. Energy is down and up and out, just like a tree who sends her roots down, and the top of the tree goes to the heavens. The roots intermingle with other roots, and the branches spread out. Might find your answer to your visions in any direction. Let's do one more each side. Let's bring both hands over to the right side. I'll be your mirror today. Thank you, liver. Thank you, gallbladder. Breathing in kindness, forgiveness, and flexibility. Vision. And let's pull the energy back to our kidneys again. I like that composting, so I don't want to have grudges, any anger, any of that. Pull silk out of the cocoon, bring it up to the top of your head, and then soften like a cleanse. Moving into the fire energy. The palm goes near the armpit. We look through the tiger's mouth. Fire energy for the heart. And we bathe ourselves with joy. We push out hate. And we look for happiness, laughter, being with friends. And we push away loneliness. We push away unhappiness. We push away hate. Let's look for love. Push away hate. Bring in love. Look for it. And bathe yourself with love and joy and creativity. Even setting a table can be a creative act. Or I love flower arranging. Sometimes that's all I have time for. Can't paint. So where can I? And I think our lives are our creative act. So how can we create our lives? With how we dress, how we behave, how we make choices. Let's do one more. Look. Let's hold on to our hearts as we embrace tiger. Thank you, beautiful heart. And then come across your chest, back down towards the kidneys. Let's compost again. So any hate, impatience we have, any, I don't know, lack of creativity. And then pull silk out of the cocoon. Imagine the lava flowing up out of the earth, purifying. And then the light of heaven flows down. Coming into the earth element, we make the window, thumb and first finger touch, thumb into the navel. And here we look for clarity. We look for peace of mind. So we bring our hands up and we stop at the heart and we notice what we see. Our gaze is through our hands. I like to focus on my hands, so everything else is kind of fuzzy. But I'm really looking at the space between my hands. Let's bring it to the third eye. I need all the help I can get. I need my intuitive powers, my extrasensory perceptions. Sometimes I can see more clearly. And then let's bring it all the way up overhead. So we're connecting to the heaven energy and look. And let's twist to one side. Doesn't matter which side, but we're squeezing out stress and worry and anxiety. And then we come back to center. Remember, this is the earth energy. We want to feel grounded, solid, connected. And we twist. We twist out confusion. Inhale back to center. Look through your window. Notice what you see. Sometimes I've seen things. A lot of times I can see some white light around the edge of my window. Sometimes I even see kind of a phantom in the center of my window. Coming back to center. Let's lower to the third eye. Breathe in what you see. Bring it down to the heart. And pause, breathing again. And then let's bring it right back into our lower dantian, right? Our physical being, feeling rooted, grounded, like the mountain. Bring your hands to your left side. Thank you, spleen, and thank you, stomach. Let's slide the hands around to the kidneys, and we let go. Pull silk out of the cocoon. This is a cleanse. So our channel is clear. The yin and yang can flow freely, meeting at the heart, finding balance. And then let's raise the yellow flowered arm up. And this is cloud hand. We push. It's a little push, a little twist. I inhale as I transition the arms. And with the exhale, there's the twist. And here we clear away self-doubt, self-criticism. Who is that? Who is that voice? We can be our harshest critics, and that's not helpful. So we tell that voice that please be quiet. Self-judgment, self-pity, self-criticism, don't need it. Push it away. And bathe yourself with loving who you are. Remind yourself of your gifts. Remind yourself of your uniqueness and your beauty. Let's embrace tiger. And the tiger returns to the mountain. All four paws on the ground. We are grounded, and we gather from the earth, bringing the yin up, the female, the wise, the nurturing. And we reach for the yang, that boundless potential. Anything is possible. Change can happen. Again, deep into the earth. You can bring up the earth, you can bring up the metal, the water, and you can reach for the sun and the moon. Let's energize ourselves with love from the heart of Mother Earth. Bathe yourself with love. She loves us. She supplies everything for us. And let's reach up for all the stars of the sky. Such tremendous energy of trillions of suns. Let's take a deep breath as we come to Wu Ji or tree pose. And then we lower this armload of energy into our bodies. Shift the weight to the white flower. We step in. Shift the weight to the yellow flowers. And with our right fist, remind ourselves of our inner strength, inner power to make decisions wisely, make changes if we want. We are powerful, but we show the world our compassionate nature, our kind and loving nature. And then we honor ourselves. Very nice. Shake it out. Give yourself a little pat. And pat down your legs. This is a great form to do seated. I thought about doing it one day seated, but I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. Shake it out. And thank you, Five Elements. Just beautiful. Gives us tools to shift our consciousness, to make changes in our emotional being. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be worried. And so this helps us to find the balance when we bring in the opposing forces. Oh, let's do our little tail shake. We're going to shift into our beautiful white crane spreads its wings. We are a little duck-footed. Think about your beautiful long legs and your strong body, your tail feathers. your wings and your long neck. So I like to wiggle my neck, tuck my chin a little bit. I imagine my beak and my hooded eyes. And let's do this with the breath today. Let's inhale, exhale. I'm going to go on the diagonal a little bit. Inhale, pulling the hands into the heart, and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and we fold our wings. Exhale. Wings overhead, big inhale. And open your heart. Exhale. Inhale, make the mudra, come to your temple. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, see if you can rise up on the balls of your feet, reach to the heavens, arms touch, and exhale. You bring the hands towards the belly. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, hands on top of each other, thumbs touch. And we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With the inhale, let's spread our wings. You can look down, see where you've been. Exhale, bring that wisdom and knowledge into your heart. You can look down again, bird's eye view. Exhale, wingtips to the heart. And this time, let's follow the wingtip up, the boundless sky where anything is possible, no limits, infinite energy. And exhale, wingtips come back to the heart. Inhale, bring wings in. Exhale, push. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let yourself drift. You can look down or you can close your eyes. Where can you soften? Breathe in the grace and beauty of the crane. Breathe in the patience and inner stillness of the crane. And let's open our minds and our hearts to being able to look at things from different perspectives. And then let's give ourselves a little shake. Shake your wings, shake your feet. Bring your hands beneath your belly. The lower dantian is the elixir field of our physical being. It's 3 inches below the navel, 3 inches in, center of our lower dantian. Thank you, body. And the middle dantian, the heart mind. We've been working on balanced emotions and calm thoughts, compassion for ourselves and all beings. And then up to our upper dantian, our spiritual center. And smile to your spirit. Notice what you feel. There's no right or wrong. But my hope is that you breathe in love for yourself. It's fine to be unique and be yourself and not apologetic. Let your Greek flag fly. And then surround yourself with your light, your beauty. your gifts. And that's what we want to share with the world. And then we honor ourselves for spending some time today learning about the 5 elements and practicing these 2 forms. And thank you. And I have about 10 minutes for questions and answers if anybody has comments. I know after we do that, we're feeling kind of all ooey gooey and don't want to jump in, but you please feel free to unmute yourself. I wonder if there's chat. Oh, I don't see anything in the chat. All right. So we did Sleepy Tiger. Love that. And we talked about the 5 elements. It's a big, big subject, just kind of a little superficial overview. We woke up our organs. And then we spend some time with the 5-element Tai Chi today. And we were the elements. We became the elements. In Qigong, often we embody animals or plants, and that's what we did today. I wanted to kind of let you feel how different a mountain feels from water, or how fire is different than earth or metal. How are you feeling? Thumbs up. Yay. When
Thank
it's quiet after, I know I did my job.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. See you next week.
All right. Have a good week.
Fabulous.
Thank you. If you have questions, stick around. Stick around. I am here, but otherwise, yeah, feel free to leave. Oh, here's a chat. Okay. Hi, Emily.
Hi. So I have to admit that when you were talking about each of the elements and giving all those possibilities, my eyes started to glaze over. And I thought to myself, how would I ever remember anything like that? But when we embodied the elements, I really got it. So that was extremely helpful for me. Being a very visual person and kinesthetic, I love that. Thank you for that, because seriously, all those words, and so many of them were the same. I felt a bit overwhelmed by it all.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was putting together today's class, I'm like, this is a 10-hour class today.
For sure.
So, but just, all we're doing, we just did the emotions, the organs, and the element. And I did bring in just a little bit of color, not for everybody, every organ, but just a little. And I did bring in the season. So yeah, you're right. It was a ton of information.
Just a lot of information. I can't process all of that. But I mean, it was good information. And you're right, we certainly don't have the time to really go over and understand one at a time. But I mean, thank you for the overview, but it was just so helpful for me afterwards doing that, embodying the elements. So that was beautiful. Thank you.
Good. And we do have the recording. So
Yes.
I was thinking, okay, there's a lot, but we can go over them. When I take online classes, I go back and I look at it, and I skip through a lot of stuff, but then sometimes I need to hear it a few times, at least 3 times. And that today was the big day for 5-element theory. So that won't happen as much. Yeah, I will weave it in You know, we're going to do some animals, we're going to do some sounds, and it'll all just be woven in, hopefully not too overwhelming. But yeah, and the form, you know, the important thing is because all that makes up the form. And then there's the formlessness. You know, we learn the form. We like dancers, you know, we have to learn it. And then once the movements are familiar, then we can make it ours. We can make it work for ourselves. You know, it's like, okay, what do I need today? Oh gosh, you know, those drivers were so bad and traffic was so bad. Okay, you know, let go of that and do that. You know, the punching for the liver to get over the frustration and anger. Yeah. Well, thank you for that comment. I'm really glad you liked being the elements. I have fun with that. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you. You're not muted. Maybe I'll turn up my. USKTOP. Or you can put it in the chat.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. I had to turn off the speaker. Yeah, I just feel extra relaxed, and I wasn't sure. Have we done the sleepy tiger with the crane before, or is this the first time?
First time.
I feel extra relaxed, like just beyond relaxed. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a fun breath work. You know, a lot of the breath work is most of it's kind of serious, and that one's just fun and playful, and it does the trick, and it gets us to yawn. So that's a yawn is the deepest breath we can take, most amount of oxygen you can get. So
Yeah, that was very effective.
any other comments or questions or thoughts?
Yeah,
Well,
I
I'm gonna
just put in the chat there, Jessica. So I really enjoyed the combination of the reading at the beginning and then the description or explanation, and then doing the forms afterwards, and then look at the video again afterwards, and it's just so helpful. Really wonderful combination. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You know, I was looking at my notes, and I've been working on this for years and compiling. I have 14 pages on this, on just the 5 elements, like what the color is, what the sound is, what the animal is, what the emotions are. And I'm thinking that's just too much information for everybody. And who wants to read a 14-page document? So I do have a chart, and then it's a 1-page chart. It's much more simplified, but I think, you know, unless I hope just to spurn your interest in this, and there's so much information out there on the internet, and if you're interested, you know, have at it. That's what I did. You know, I would just okay, what about the earth element, and find everything I could about earth element, or all of it. Yeah, metal. For some reason, the metal is really intriguing to me. I'm not sure why. But yeah, that one, that whole idea of contracting and inward, you know, that refining. And it's almost what we do as we evolve. We refine ourselves. We become gold. We become shiny and beautiful, and our spirit shines. I don't know. They're all gorgeous. I love them all, but lately the metal element's been very intriguing for me. Oh, look at the puppy. So yeah, this is there's a lot of philosophy in this particular class. The next class is more Tai Chi form, always meaning behind the movements, and I think it's going to be in October. So you'll stand, you know, I'll let you know when that is. But we're going to do a beautiful qigong form of Badua Jin, the 8 brocades or the 8 silken brocades, and love. It's just a beautiful. It's good for strengthening and flexibility and energy movement. And then there's also a Tai Chi 8 form. And it's a repetitive form, but we do move our feet. And I like it a lot. It's there's some really great balance movements, like golden rooster stands on one leg, and there's some kicks involved, and a little bit more martial. And I thought, oh, we could have, the theme could be 8, Badwai Jin, and the 8, the 8 brocades and the Tai Chi 8. And if you are teachers, and I know a lot of this group is teachers, these are great repetitive forms that you can share with your students. Well, thank you for the comments. I'm glad that you're feeling relaxed and inspired and clear. And yeah, I've got to go to, I have another Zoom in a few minutes. Emily and I are both going to Bali together in a few weeks with some other Qigong enthusiasts. And that should be pretty fun. So right after this class ends, in a few weeks, we'll be there. And so we have our meeting tonight. So I apologize, I must leave. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Oops.